Oliveira on pole position. Ben Casely alongside. We go lights out this time for the second time. No problems there with the start, but a few stragglers at the back part of it as they all go heading into turn one for the first time. 2, 3 abreast at some points going up the hill towards turns 2 and 3. Now into the very tight double S bend. 2 hairpins literally overlapping one another. So it is still... looks to be De Oliveira might not be in the lead at the minute. I'm just keeping an eye as they come down the hill for the very first time. And they've got someone right on their back bumper. That could be one of the Strawberry guys. That looks to be possibly either Dean McDonald or Cian Shields. They're going to come past the commentary position. And it is Ben Casely that's leading. Guilherme De Oliveira, Cian Shields now up into... P3. Dean McDonald has got his way past the 384 there, I think. That was Dean McDonald actually being passed going through into turn number 13 as they go down the back straightaway. As there's going to be a change to the lead. De Oliveira takes it back from Casely. Cian Shields just waiting in the wings, just keeping a little bit of a distance. That's good spatial awareness from the young Scots as they come. The driver in third position, that's fourth position, that's Philip Vava from Spain. Takes a little bit too much curb, I think. Coming into turn number 18 as they go back up the hill through turns 3, 4. Now, and we've also got now a change, and now that looks to be that Ben Casely has dropped down the order. He must have been compromised coming out of turn number 5, and that's dropped the Brit way down the order. Someone has had to avoid, and that is Bradley Barrett, who's just behind him. So it looks like that Casely's dropped all the way down to around about 7th position. No, that's somebody else. That might have been Philip Vava that's actually dropped down, which it is the case, as Bradley Barrett now coming under pressure, and that is from Iroshin from Russia, but the Brit still keeps ahead. Dean McDonald behind the pair at the moment, so McDonald a little bit further back than probably, well, that's Maxim Turyev, I think. So Turyev is a little bit further back probably than he would like, but the driver's now coming through into turn 17 and now into 18. Guilherme De Oliveira from Portugal. He's had a bit of a difficult week. There was some. I was speaking to his dad Paolo a bit earlier on yesterday afternoon, and he said that Guilherme's mechanic was having to work until like 8 o'clock on Thursday night because they didn't know what was going on. They had to swap everything onto a new chassis. And now the performance that Guilherme actually put in qualifying was quite impressive. And the main reason being is that he didn't really have any assistance. He did not have that opportunity. And he's broken away quite cleanly. Cian Shields now past Ben Casely. Dean McDonald in 4th place. So it's a 3-way scrap between the Brits down from 2nd to 4th position. And it looks like Mark Kimber's made his way up. Oh, nice send up the inside like Daniel Ricciardo by Dean McDonald up the inside of Ben Casely to take 3rd position. And that was going through turn number 13. So Kimber now past Philip Vava. Kimber started in 8th. He's now up into P6 as they come through to complete another lap here at Campillos. Mechanics furiously saying to him, just keep going, just floor it, just see what happens. So they've been giving signals. There's no conventional pit boards here in karting. And there's no one... I've actually heard this weekend that someone was actually told to get the cutters out and take out their headset that was built into their race helmets because they're disallowed here in karting. 6 minutes and 23 seconds, plus an additional lap left to go. Guilherme De Oliveira from Portugal, as now it's battle on between Cian Shields in 2nd, Dean McDonald in 3rd. They were at each other's throats a couple of weeks ago at Valencia at another Winter Cup. So they've come here looking to stake their claim to try and get into the Euro Trophy for 2020. And they are catching the Portuguese driver. So Guilherme De Oliveira is going to have Cian Shields going up the inside of turn 16. McDonald goes through as well. Wow, the 2 Strawberry Racing drivers were working together. And I think is that Brad Barrett up into P6. He's made it past. So that is that's Brad Barrett up into P7. So Shields leads, McDonald up in, and we've had a warning flag there. That is for the 363. That is for someone a bit. That's Babikova in the 363. So Teresa Babikova, one of the many Czech drivers that we've got here this weekend. But now already, Cian Shields has bolted. He's absolutely cruising away from Dean McDonald. But what a great bit of work from the pair of them. And oh, that was close. That was nearly a side-by-side between Philip Vava and also Ben Casey going out of turn 11 into turn 12. And now the KR Sport drivers. Mark Kimber's just gone up the inside. Kimber's just done absolutely stolen P6 like candy off of Baby. And that was probably off of Philip Vava there. So at the minute, Cian Shields is going to have a considerable lead. I think it's going to be at least 0.3 of a second. 4 minutes and 39 plus an additional lap. Half a 5.46 between Shields and McDonald as they go up the hill. Through 4, up into the left at 5. Then a slight descent into the turn 6 right-hander. Then it's another one at turn 7. Up the hill they go. Pushing these Rotax Max Evo engines to the limit. And just by those watching on the stream, you can just see how much they're starting to fan out. And that is between, I think that's probably the top 15 I've just seen go through into turn 10. But Dean McDonald is now looking a bit foreboding on the back bumper of Cian Shields. They do say, don't take out your teammate, but there is another rule. If you want to battle, go for it, but make sure it's clean and fair. And that's definitely going to be the case between the two teammates at Strawberry Racing. So, McDonald is now really in the envelope. He's in the slipstream of Cian Shields as they go across the start-finish line to complete another lap. Gap was half a second. That's an absolute decimation of that lead. And we've had a 5-second penalty issued. That is for Teresa Babikova. Teresa Babikova has now got, and we've got someone off at the gravel. That is at, I'm just trying to keep an eye on where that is. So that is down to turn 17. And that was the 369 of Marquez. So Marquez out of the race with about 3 minutes plus an additional lap left to go. So Marquez is out. That brings us down to 27 competitors. But again, the stalemate is still locked in between both Cian Shields and Dean McDonald. Guilherme de Oliveira is leading the rest of the pack, and they are pretty much line astern up until the bottom part of the top 20. And he's ahead of Philip Vava, and I think Mark Kimber's now down into P6. But Dean McDonald's looking a bit menacing now on the back bumper of Cian Shields. They come across the start-finish line with just under 2.5 minutes plus an additional lap left to go. McDonald just putting the feelers out. He knows very well how Cian Shields drives because he's actually coached him quite considerably. And now they are teammates. It's master versus student. And this could be very, very explosive in the next 2 minutes and 9 seconds plus an additional lap. So they come down the hill towards turn 9, which is a sweeping right-hander, into the next one at turn 10 before a tight 180-degree left-hand hairpin at turn 11. McDonald is half a kart length behind Cian Shields as they go through turn 12. He's right on the back bumper. He nailed the apex a bit more cleanly. Took a bit more of it than Cian Shields did as they go down the back straight out of turn 14. Down the short blast towards turn 15. Cian Shields keeping it defensive ahead of Dean McDonald. I think with about 90 seconds to go plus an additional lap, it will be a case that if Dean McDonald is going to do the move, he's got a chance. He's running the slipstream once again. So they go up into turn 1. McDonald still on the back bumper of Shields. De Oliveira, Vava, Casey, Kimber, Turiev, Apps, Babikova, Barrett. That's the top 10 in the minute with just over 70 seconds. But there is a bit of a development here because I've just been keeping an eye on Guilherme de Oliveira. He was over a 1/10.5 quicker than the current leader. And then he was a further nearly 10th quicker, well, it's 2 tenths nearly, over Cian Shields, and was just over a 10th quicker than Dean McDonald. So de Oliveira is putting in the fastest laps, and the fastest lap out of anybody is Mark Kimber, a 1 minute 3.662 from the Brit, who's currently sitting in around about 6th position at the minute. So when they cross the start-finish line very, very shortly, in around the next 20 seconds or so, it will be the penultimate lap of the race. Cian Shields still leads. Dean McDonald in second. Kimber's gone up the inside, and that was on Casey. He had to look to be a little bit robust, but I think he got through fairly cleanly. And Casey's lost out another position as well to Turiev in P6, who was P7. So with about 20 seconds to go on the clock, the leaders across the start-finish line. They'll have one additional lap. They're probably going to get through around about turn 6 or 7 by the time the timer expires. So that's it. Time has run out. Cian Shields still leading from Dean McDonald as they come down the hill towards turn number 9. Guilherme de Oliveira and Philip Vava. And what's more, Mark Kimber's not that far behind either. Maxim Turiev and Ben Kaisley. Top 7 separated by 2 seconds. But it's going to be a case of it's not if, it's when someone decides to make that manoeuvre that could change the complexity of a race. They come down the hill, the top 5, make that the top 10 or 11, as there was someone, that was Bradley Barrett, that really whacked the curbs coming out of turn 14. So we go on to the final lap. Round the final corner comes Cian Shields and Dean McDonald, Guilherme de Oliveira, Philip Vava, Mark Kimber. That's the top 5. Tuliev in 6th place. A 10th and a half between Dean McDonald in 2nd and Cian Shields. But Dean McDonald is run on the back bumper, going up the hill once again. He was looking up the inside there on turn 5 on Cian Shields, and Guilherme de Oliveira is going to try and have something to say in this particular battle as they come down the hill towards turn 9 for the final time. Shields still ahead by a whisker as they come through turn 11. Looks like Dean McDonald and Guilherme de Oliveira used a little bit more of the runoff coming out of turn 11 into turn 12 for the final time. McDonald might have a good opportunity if he gets into the toe on the back straight as they come through turn 14. Now it's the short blast down the back straightaway. He's got about half a kart length between himself and Dean McDonald going into turn 16. But they come round into the left-hander at turn 17 for the final time. Round turn 18, it's another Strawberry Racing victory, this time for Cian Shields. Cian Shields ahead of Dean McDonald by 63 thousandths of a second. That's pretty much an A4 sheet of paper between the pair of them. Guilherme de Oliveira started on pole position, finished in P3. Philip Vava from KR Sport representing Spain on the 360 in 4th. Mark Kimber started in 8th place and would complete the top 5 ahead of Maxim Turiev, Ben Kaisley, Miles Apps. I know that Teresa Babikova will have a 5-second penalty that will drop her towards 19th or 20th position when the penalty gets applied. Bradley Barrett will take 9th ahead of Tim Mikemets, Bilou, Knutsson, Eroshin, Galvanin in 15th, will be 14th ahead of Thompson, Fokema, Kret from Poland, Lepai. You'll probably have Babikova in there as well ahead of France, Roche, Marin Crespo, Uno Oksanen, Antoine Ontier. You'll then have Finn Stiak in the 358. Christophe Capitain from France, Arke Montoro with Marquez looks to have gotten underway, but Cian Shields takes the win.
Finished.
To the top 5 ahead of Maxim Turiev, Ben Kaisley, Miles Apps,